For our final dish today, we're going to do garlic prawns with saffron rice. To get started, we need to get our rice on because our prawns will only take a couple of minutes. So take your hot pot, add a good pinch of saffron and allow that to toast for a couple of seconds just so you can smell the aromas. Smell really good. To this, 2 cups of water. Turn it up and allow that to cook out for a bit. You want the saffron to cook out in the water because that sort of creates a saffron stock and it stops just getting little pockets of flavour in your rice later on. The rice will take around 10 minutes to 12 minutes to cook, which gives us time to prepare our prawns. When you're buying your prawns, you need to have in mind what you're going to do with them. It can be quite intimidating when you arrive at the shop. There's many options available and you can sort of break them down into categories of raw and cooked, whole and peeled, and fresh and frozen. The easiest decision to make is whether you buy fresh or frozen. Frozen prawns are not a bad product, but fresh is always better. When it comes to buying peeled or whole prawns have quite a strong flavour which can overpower the dish. Whereas peeled prawns have the beautiful texture of prawns and they have the flavour of prawns, but they don't have the really intense flavour that comes from the head and the shells in the whole prawns. And the final decision you need to make is whether you buy them raw or cooked. Cooked prawns are okay if you're just going to serve them cold, but raw prawns are what you use if you're going to cook them again at home. Because if you cook already cooked prawns at home, again, they become quite dry and tough. It's just the same as if you bought a cooked steak and tried to recook it again. It's going to be overcooked and dry. Also with raw prawns, it's easy to tell how fresh the product is. You can see that there's not much black colouring on there. There'll always be a little bit, but as the prawn gets older, it gets quite a bit more black colouring on the tail there. And you'll notice this next time you're at the shops, and that really tells you how old the prawn is. You can't see this on cooked prawns because it doesn't happen. So now we'll get our prawns on the way. We just need a splash of olive oil in there and we can add our prawns to the pan. Get those to start ticking away. Now we can start off by slicing our garlic nice and thinly. Don't cut your garlic up too much or it can just really overpower the dish. So we might even run through that again and just add that to the pan and let that tick away with the prawns. The prawns should take around 2 to 3 minutes to cook and you'll notice they change to quite a strong pink colour and they firm up quite a bit. Now we can chop up just around 10 to 15 leaves of flat parsley. Not too fine, just slice through it. And we can add that to our pan as well. Just remembering, just keep your rice nice and low, making sure it doesn't catch on the bottom, absorbing all that beautiful saffron liquid with the lid on. So our prawns are really starting to get close now. We want to take them to about 3/4 of the way before we add our butter. Our rice is ticking along. Our rice is cooked now, so I'll just take that off and just let that absorb the last little bit while we finish up our prawns. You can see there's really good pink colouring on those now, and it's definitely time to add our butter just to finish off the final bit. So take some butter now and just slice it up, not too fine, and add that to your pan. That's about 70 grams of butter there. Sit it on top of the prawns so it'll gently melt through it. And nothing's burning here because we're just on a nice medium heat. It's too low a heat to burn anything, so the garlic just gently cooks through without going black. And that's just going now. Give it a bit of a toss. Once that butter's melted through, that'll form the sauce with all the juices from the prawns and that'll be ready to go. So now we'll grab our rice. There's no liquid left in there and it's nice and soft and it separates easily like this. It's not stodgy. That's because we've used the absorption method to cook it as opposed to just boiling it in some water. It also means that we get the maximum flavour out of our saffron because we're not pouring any down the sink. Saffron is quite expensive, but I personally think it's definitely worth spending the money on to get a beautiful flavour from it. But of course you can just use normal plain rice with this dish. So there's our saffron rice. Our prawns are ready now. Our butter's just melted through it. That's all you want. You don't want it to start browning off or anything, so that's ready to go. Our prawns are beautiful and pink. So we'll just put those in the other side here. It's quite a large serve for one person, but I really love prawns, so I'll do a large serve. So there we have our prawns in there. Make sure you pour your garlic sauce over the top as well. And there we have beautiful saffron rice with garlic prawns. I hope today I've taken some of the fear out of cooking seafood for you and also given you the inspiration to try it at home. All these recipes are available on the website and the Facebook page, and be sure to let me know how you go. But this is all we've got time for today, so I'll see you next week. It felt good, felt loose.